Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Wednesday, and Wednesday is Shower Door Professionals Day. Everybody knows that, man. Glad you could join us today. We're having fun, already starting to talk about stuff behind the scenes. Can't tell you about that. That's all top secret stuff. But if you join the call and you get here early, then you'll get to participate in all that fun stuff. Anyway, hope you're having a great week. We're doing pretty well over here. If you'd like to join us in the call, you can just click on the link in the Facebook page. But be good, all right? Be on your best behavior, man. We had some guys in here a couple weeks ago, and they were just naughty. I had to boot them out. Then I had to edit my video. Christina was here. I was so embarrassed. Man, you guys gotta act right. Anyway, speaking of Christina, there she is right now. What's going on, Christina? How are you doing?
I'm good, Chris. How are you?
Man, if I was any better, I don't know what I would do.
Sounds good. Sounds about right. Happy Wednesday. So I have your co-op update for the week. Um, we had a great meeting on Tuesday and we worked on the logo a little bit more. We're still iterating on that. I think we're dialing in. What I can say about it now, I guess, with a little more certainty, is we want this to look like a certification or like a check mark or a verification, because ideally, if you're a member of the cooperative, you have gone through some verification, some level of verification process, almost like a Google profile gets verified, just so people know that you're a legit company, you know? And if you've, bought in to be a member of the co-op, one of the perks of that would be being able to use that insignia or that logo on your marketing, so that it's almost like a little check mark, like a blue check, verified, like Facebook or Meta or whatever you see on social media and things like that. Or I guess like Trustdale has a little Trustdale badge. So that's kind of what we're going for in the logo. And so we're dialing in a little bit better on that. We have like the next 4 meetings booked and busy, scheduled and ready to nail some things down. So it's all coming together really nicely. And I know that there's so much more, but not a whole lot I can share yet. So
No,
that's all I got. Did I miss something?
no, that's a good start. That's a good start. And I mean, what's happened is a lot of people have already shown interest. A lot of people have signed up by going to showerdoorprofessionals.com and just filling out the form there, saying, "Hey, I'm interested in being involved in the co-op." A lot of people have. A lot of people are hanging back. A lot of people are just kind of waiting for the water to warm up a little bit, before they jump in. So we're getting there. I mean, it's getting warm now. So pretty soon you're going to want to be piling in because it's going to be a mad
I'm glad
rush,
you.
right?
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. So if you do want more information, even if you're lukewarm on this or you just have no idea what we're talking about, Rob, not to put you on the spot, but if you could drop the link to kind of like put your information in so that you can get some email blasts about this. We are going to start sending a weekly email blast about what's going on so that people kind of have an update. It'll probably be short and sweet, but we want to start actually giving you all information on a weekly basis. And so thank you, Rob. I saw that just pop up. So go to that link if you want to know more information. I'll also be giving these updates on the call. And we will probably do our soft launch in July and so yay.
Very
You should
good.
start
Very
hearing
good.
from us this week. Where are we on that, Rob? Again, not to put you on the spot. I'm sorry.
Hi. So right now, the email everyone will be receiving the updates from is info@showerdoorprofessionals.com. You can also email us directly there if you want to initiate the conversation and not go to the showerdoorprofessionals.com website and fill out that form there. Regardless of which route you take to contact us, you will be getting a weekly update every Wednesday morning with what we discussed on our Tuesday call. And if you want to contribute in any way as we talk about what we're working on, feel free to respond and we will be happy to include you in the discussion, loop you in, see how much you can be included all the way up to the top. of the discussions that we have. So info@showerdoorprofessionals.com is the email will be coming from, and look out for them on Wednesday morning. Make sure to move us to your preferred sender contact list when you do see us, because new emails always end up in spam. And as you interact with us, they will stop showing up in spam. So
exactly.
Yay.
Whitelist it.
yes.
And if you want to help, if you specifically want to help, if you're like, I want to be involved in this, let us know. There are a few people who have already done that. Thank you so much. You are on the radar. We are working on, like, we will have something for you hopefully next week. But we definitely need help now. We're at the point where we know what we need. So yeah, reach out if you want to help. We are here for it. So thanks, y'all.
Awesome. Thanks, you guys. Good job. Good job. Nice. Wow. So yeah, so I was just thinking about today. I had a member from my networking group come over and do a little work here at the shop. So every week I attend a networking group. The one that I attend is called the TIP International. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. They've got these little local chapters all over the place, internationally, apparently. And so this particular group is just specifically made for passing leads. So we get together once a week for breakfast. Our chapter does. We have breakfast. Tomorrow morning is my meeting. Go there and we just, everybody has a chance to talk about what they do. And they only allow one business from each category. So like I'm the only glass guy in the category. So it's like a lot of times you go to a chamber of commerce or something and it's like, 5 lawyers, 20 realtors, it's like 18 plumbers, and it's like, but this group is strictly just one per category. Anyway, the handyman in our group, I had him come over and do some work on the plumbing over here. I don't mess with plumbing. And it got me to thinking about referring people and being a part of a network. And do you have people that you are sending work to? Do you have people who are sending you work? I know for us, it's hard for us to pass leads to very many people because we're usually the last person in there, right? I mean, like they're really not looking for anybody by the time we get there. But one guy that I can usually send a lot of work to is the handyman, because after I'm done working there, I've usually broken something. And so, I can send him in to fix it, right? Or, a lot of times they're asking me, hey, since I'm the last guy, and they're like, hey, do you know anybody who does this? Do you know anybody who does that? Just these little miscellaneous things. And oftentimes it's that guy. So I'm fortunate. I've got a great guy in my networking group. His name's Brian. And he's really does great work, and he's a great guy. And it's cool to be able to do that. And we can send a handyman a lot of work. It's amazing. We can just about keep him busy just all by ourselves because of all the requests we get in. And then it's cool too because when somebody mentions shower doors, he'll think of me because he hears from us all the time. So yeah, is that ringing any bells for anybody out there?
It is for me. I have a couple. Oftentimes I'll get calls for we still do some service calls on showers, changing out sweeps and seals and stuff like that. And it's not uncommon for us to get there or pictures to be sent over, and it's clear that it's more than just sweeps and seals that need replacing. So I have a few contractors and tile guys that they're specifically kind of geared towards bathroom remodels and ripping out tile and ripping out shower pans and kind of giving them a fixer upper. So I have guys that I refer that type of work to. I also have a general handyman that I refer regularly. Like if I'm at a house and people ask me, if I hang framed mirrors or picture frames or something like that. That's not really something that I'm going to get involved in. So I'll pass that along to him. Recently, I've been trying to kind of phase out some of the small window repairs that we still do. And that's where I'm finding difficulty in finding somebody to refer that type of work to. I did come across a couple guys on Instagram and reached out to them to kind of, have a talk with them and kind of gauge, their level of professionalism. Because if it's somebody that I'm going to be referring out, even though it's not my hands doing the work, it's still kind of my name behind the hands. And the one guy, I think I reached out to him twice within a week, and I haven't heard back anything from him. So he's now kind of off the list, right? Like that's not a good start for
Not
me.
the guy.
Not the guy. Like I don't know that I'd be comfortable referring, that guy. I don't know that he would do it to a paying customer, but I don't know that I'd be willing to take that chance either. So that's been a little bit of a struggle for me, finding guys that'll do, little stuff, because a lot of local handymen won't really touch glass. They don't really want to, glass can be scary to some people. It's glass, it'll cut you if you let it. So that's been kind of tough, finding guys that'll, change a little insulated unit, or, do a little, I don't know, a little window repair. Just, somebody's got a shed window that busted, they just need somebody to throw a piece of plexiglass in there or something, whatever it is. But it's proven to be more difficult than I thought it would be. So that's kind of where I'm at on that topic.
Yeah.
Back to you, Chris.
Nice job, man. Yeah, that was very comprehensive. Yeah, it's important that it's somebody that's good. And there are all those factors. Will they take a little job, and will they, respond? And are they going to do a good job? And are they going to be friendly? And are they going to clean up after themselves? So it's a big bill to fill when you're, sending somebody out, to one of your customers, right?
And like for some of you guys that have companies or individuals that you refer, like what was the process? Like how did you vet those people? How did you did you see him on a job site and notice, oh, this guy's doing a good job, he's he's working clean, I heard him talking to the customer, he talks, with a respectful demeanor, and like how did you find those guys?
We have a contractor we use, and he's actually done work at my house, my brother's house. His one son answers the phone for us during the day, and he'll go out and do all the small insulated that we can't get to, or big ones. We'll go out and get the glass to the house, and he's pretty good at it.
And how did you find this guy?
Just we started doing work for him, and my brother became good friends with him, and I had him at my house doing some repairs, and so like some lady had a crank out for a wood window. I didn't have time to do it. He went over and took care of it, and some insulated units.
Yeah.
He does good work.
We found with us on referral stuff, like a lot of our business in general is all referral stuff. We don't really have sales reps per se. It's like true sales reps, but a lot of our business is referral business. So we've got a really big network of just tile guys, just all sorts of people, electricians, and people that come before us. So they refer us a lot, but we sometimes we're able to actually refer business back to them. And as far as the handyman stuff, we actually let if it's something that's like a low margin or is not really worth our time inside the business, most of our guys are fairly expertise at other things too. So we'll often let them, if it's something we don't want to mess with, we'll let them do it on the side on the weekend and just say, hey, we've got a customer asking for something and they need these mirrors hung. Do you want to handle this on your own on the side? I mean, and they're plenty capable. We can hang mirrors, but we don't want to be spending time during the week messing with this stuff. We'd rather be doing something that's making more money, and we'll let them do that to make some more money on the side, and we'll just let them handle it separately. And they'll use a truck if they need to, or just they're very capable of it, and then they have our name attached to it because they are employees of us. But and they can get the job done at a very professional level, and it helps them make some extra side money. So we refer a lot of our guys out to certain things, like we know their expertise. Like we have a guy that has a carpentry background, so he ends up getting a lot of like odd end carpentry jobs on Saturdays and Sundays from us. And then all the other punch out stuff like bath hardware. If we don't want to go somewhere to mess with bath hardware on something, we'll let them handle it on the side, so we're spending time doing things that are making the company money. But that's what we do with our referral stuff when it comes to handyman type things.
Wow. I don't
Where
think
are you
I've ever heard
located?
somebody say that before.
Hey,
That's
Daniel, where are you located?
We're in Beaufort, Georgia. We're a little north of Brad. I guess essentially everybody will refer to it as Atlanta, but it's Metro Atlanta. But we're about 45 minutes north of Atlanta.
Okay. And do you have licensed contractors there, or
Say that again?
you have licensed contractors? Or
Oh, yeah, I mean, we have all sorts of type of contractors that we work for. Most of what we're working for, though, are just builders and remodelers. I'd say 60% of our business is new construction, and
Right,
then
right.
the other.
like
Go ahead.
I'm in California, so all the contractors are licensed through the state. Does Georgia do that, or?
I'm not positive. I'm sure there's people that are not licensed that we do work for, because there's a lot of times we'll do remodel jobs that are not being permitted and stuff like that. So there's no telling, like what's going on there, so honestly. But the builders we're working for and stuff, most of the remodelers we work with are licensed. I'm sure there's a few that sneak in there that aren't, and then we'll do work for homeowners, obviously. So,
Yeah, that's fine.
but yeah, most of the ones we work for are more professional based, so I can only imagine they're licensed,
Yeah, here where we're at, I mean, I'm pretty close to town. We're in the same neighborhood basically, so where we're at, you can be a handyman and you can do a job up to $500 without a license. So like this guy I'm talking about, Brian, he just got a license. So now there's a license for remodelers. So it's not like a general contractor, but he's allowed to, now that he's licensed, he's allowed to do jobs bigger than $500. So there's like, yeah, it's pretty regulated here. But they've got this new classification, which I think is kind of cool. And I don't know what his limits are. I'm sure, there are still some limits, that keep him from doing what an actual general contractor can do. But he can do a lot more than a handyman. So it's kind of cool.
I'm not sure what kind of red tape is involved in Georgia here. Probably not much.
Probably not like California, I'm sure. I hope. Yeah. So what about just networking in general? Are you guys doing anything? Are you a member of Chamber of Commerce or Lions Club or Rotary or there's this other one. What is it? BMI? Yeah. Just if anybody's doing any kind of of a networking.
Chris, from the day we started, that's all we've been doing is networking, whether it's home builders, remodeling council, interior designers, architects. We do lunch and learns for architects, do lunch and learns for general contractors, where you come into the shop and give them a tour and all that. But then each of the salesmen have responsibilities for at least one organization. So whether it's Rotary, Kiwanis, Chamber of Commerce, whatever the local organizations are, each salesperson has a responsibility for that one.
Hey, Bill, how do you decide who has responsibility for which organization? Do they get to choose, or do they get to find one themselves? Do you assign it?
Well, they can choose if they have a connection. Sometimes, lots of times, they're asked to join, like a BNI. They're asked to join. But if we join the home builders in Orlando, then they're going to go to home builders. Now, if we have the Orlando home builders and the remodelers, then the second guy goes to that one. Now, if they want to swap off, no problem. As long as somebody's represented there. And they can swap the dates off. So if they have something going on or going on vacation, they just swap with another person. Same thing when we host or sponsor golf events or things like that. We have a tent that they go and they set up and greet people all day long. But it's all about networking, of course. I mean, that's like the best word of mouth. And it's cheaper than advertising, and you can track where it came from. And many times it's going to lead to more than just one job. You know, it could last, you know, a good relationship, especially if you're in these organizations, or if it's a interior decorator, a remodeler, something like that, you're going to get multiple jobs. So yeah, I mean, sales, that's what it's all about, is networking. So we do it all the time.
Do you have any little sort of vetting process if they're trying to go to a new networking event, something like that, that you kind of want to make sure it's worth their time and worth your time to send them there? Like, make sure it's good?
Well, you know, they get paid a salary plus a bonus if they hit their numbers. So I don't think they want to spend their extra time going to a place that's a dog. And they'll let me know, this is, no, it's not worth going to. And most of them, when they try and get you to be members, they're going to let you go once or twice as a guest to see if you like it.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't tell you that, you can ask for that, and they generally will do it. Say, hey, before I commit, let me go see what this is like. Like, I got myself into a couple of them that I had to get out of. It just wasn't for me. It wasn't for our group, you know, even though they made it sound like it was, it wasn't at all. So that's why I ask if they can go first, get a feel of the place before they join. Yeah.
Yeah. The only one I had experience with, it was right before COVID hit, and we joined the Georgia Home Builders Association, and I went to one networking event and it was phenomenal, but then all of a sudden COVID hit and everything shut down. So that was our first attempt at going to these things and signing up with one. But then, yeah, I've noticed that a lot of them you can actually just pay to go individually, which I'm thinking, if we're busy, is actually kind of a smarter thing instead of making a full commitment, because we can only time-wise make a few of them. Then it's probably better just to pay the few fees to go to a certain, and just pick and choose the ones you want to go to, you know. So that's the only experience I've had with networking.
Some of the other cool things we've done is, like, you go, I don't know if you've ever done a heat map, which is a map of an area that you service, and you put pins up on your most common customers, like where they're located, where's the concentration of your customers. And you're going to find that there's certain communities that call you all the time. So we would try and host an event at that community, whether it's game night or cards or poker night or whatever it is, and you host it there. That's a big deal. And you get some really good jobs out of it. The other really good organization, I don't know if you have one, it's called COMA, C-O-M-A, Condominium Owner Management Association. These are like all the condo managers. These are the people, the concierges for the high rises. And whenever they need stuff done, they're always asking the concierge there, who should I call? Who's here a lot? Now,
Yeah.
we're in Florida, Danny, so there's a lot of gated communities. And I've said this before, you got to get to know the guards at the gate. Whether you bring them a coffee and a donut in the morning when you go in, whatever it takes, get to know the guard at the gate, because the people often will ask them, hey, who's here a lot doing shower doors? That's a very cheap, inexpensive way of getting your name out there for good, solid leads.
Yes, I grew up where you live. So
Did you?
yes.
You know, there's lots of gated communities.
There's lots. It's been a while, but it's definitely a happening area with lots of money and potential customers.
Yeah, everywhere. Anybody that showers is a potential customer. If they shower more than once, they're a better customer.
Does anybody have any like networking things that you notice a lot of designers go to? Because I've noticed that the designers, a lot of our custom builders are working directly with designers, and that is like a huge opportunity that we really don't even tap into. We just know the ones that our builders know, and then we get jobs off of those. But I mean, if those people are attending certain networking events or certain events, those have got to be some really good opportunities that we're probably missing out on here, but I know they're available. They've got to be.
Yeah, there's one called IDA, which is Interior Decorators of America. That's a big organization that they all go to. It's like a home builders event for interior decorators. Architects are fantastic, guys that do plans for homes, because if they can spec your product when they're doing it, it's almost a shoe-in.
Yeah, no doubt.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. Those are great. We also do referrals. Chris has talked about that. I mean, I know this is networking, but every installer that goes out there should be a salesman for you. So either they're trying to get another shower in the same house, or asking if they have a friend, relative, neighbor, anybody else they know that's doing remodeling that might be interested. Those always turn out well.
Yeah. At minimum, they're they're either selling or running you away from the next job in that area at a minimum, even if they're not, directly trying to sell it, just on the way they perform and behave.
Yeah. Sometimes it's neat to have these postcards made up, like realtors do when they're selling a house. And if you go to an install in a gated community, they don't like you going door to door, but if you can just put your card in the neighboring mailbox, hey, we're doing your neighbor. Keep it generic. You don't have to say we're doing the neighbor at that address. Hey, you may see our trucks doing here. If you're also interested, give us a call. And just hand place them. It takes you 2 seconds to walk into the mailbox and just lay it there.
Nice. Yeah. What else? Any questions? Any other topics?
Chris, I'll go back to the story about referring other guys. We had a customer that wouldn't pay us our balance because we recommended somebody that he felt he didn't like their work. And because we recommended him, he didn't want to pay our balance.
Wow.
And it had nothing to do with us. But hey, I had a customer a few weeks ago gave us a 1-star rating because we wouldn't repair a shower door that somebody else put in. They called on the phone and says, no, we won't touch somebody else's product. They gave us a 1-star Google review for that.
Yep. That's pretty common. I mean, like one of the only 1-star reviews like actually 2, I've probably gotten 3 ever, but 2 of them were people who I didn't do business with.
Yeah.
Give me 1-star review.
Yeah, I had that happen once.
Yeah.
Guy wanted me to drive out to Castroville on what we call Car Week around here, and the traffic is, crazy. He got bent out of shape, and I said, "Well, send some pictures." And he went on and wrote us a 1-star review, because he wouldn't go out there.
I know, that's crazy.
Circling back to what Daniel was saying, where he allows the employees to do side work on the weekends and sometimes even use their vehicle and stuff. I frown upon it because I don't want to have a mishap and then they come back to me on it, even though it was a side job I wasn't involved in. My name's attached in any way, shape, or form. I feel that leaves me liable or open to an issue. So I really frown upon it. If they do anything, I don't know about it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Totally.
I was someone who agreed with side jobs, and we pushed it to as many people as possible, especially being the guy who received some of the side jobs in the beginning of the years. Definitely saw the benefit of passing it to the people, but There was one point where I was the guy trying to do the best job possible on the weekend and serve all of the employees. So everyone got a nice cut of a job that our company couldn't handle and didn't want to do. And it was a catastrophe because the people we used in our company truck, when it didn't go well, even though I paid out of pocket cash and lost about $1,000 on the job, but I paid what I needed to pay to make sure everything was done right and correct ethically, they still came at the company for the damage done to the floor, for the damage done to this. And they were able to avoid it, but the reputation damage from a company who has a voice that people respect, and they go and tarnish you when you did everything you could. It sucks because I couldn't bring in the power of the company to make it right. It was all out of side pocket and out of side this. So I couldn't, if done through the company, we would have been able to fight back and make it easy. But because it was a side thing in a company vehicle, it made it real hard and messy for us. But yeah, I totally, but in the past, before that experience, I would have been like, figure it out on the side. Everyone eats, but definitely experienced the opposite side of that. And I have a different opinion now, because of the risk it hits everyone else. So, hey guys, y'all could do the job, but unbranded truck. Make sure you say no association with us. Try not to use any of our things or tools or represent yourself as us, even the clothes itself, because we don't want pictures or documentation to show how you behave on your personal time to reflect what the company standards are. And that's kind of what it ended at. Want everyone to eat, but what happens on the other end was too much.
That's exactly right.
That's right.
That's
Yeah, we frown on it also. The last thing I want to do is give the guy a side job, then he ends up getting hurt, and then he can't work and do the jobs that I need him to do. And sometimes they'll even come back after our insurance and they'll turn it around and say, oh, I got hurt on the job. I don't know. To me, it's not worth the risk.
Mm-hmm.
But on a positive note, referrals. I love referrals. How do you find them? I liked when I was the one answering the phone and it went from we service every product to we're only servicing 2. I really hated that we turned our back on our community that built us for 20 years. We had to survive, but I wanted to make sure they left with a good taste in their mouth when I told them no. So it was a process over 3 months, but what ended is they call, I found out who to direct them to. I built the automation so that as I'm on the phone with them and they're asking about a product we no longer do, I send them the template. I put them into the workflow that is referred to tile guy number 1. And by me doing that one action while I'm on the phone with them, it sends them the message with the tile guy's contact info, then sends the tile guy the customer's info about expect a call from them. We just referred them to you. And then it goes to a sheet so I can track it. 3 days later, I have a task to say, go check on that customer that was referred to that guy, make sure they were treated right. And the impression it leaves with the customer is like, dang, we couldn't give y'all $1, but you really cared about us to make sure we got treated right and that we were doing a good, you were sending us to good people. And just that little action, even if you send them to someone wrong, the fact that you tried, the fact that you cared, the fact that you're vetting it, like, dang, whenever they need what you actually provide, they're going to call you, even if you never serviced them and if you could told them no. And I was able to turn no into future yeses, or at least into, well, screw y'all, and then 1 review. We still get those. We just got 2 in the last week. 1-star reviews for people that didn't even use us because they were mad about our process. But I like the ability of referral networks, of building in a process where we refer this way, we have a follow-up to check if the referral was good, and we have a process to make sure and look for other people to find other referral partners. I don't have any good advice on that, Brian, of how we find them. I just kind of looked for Google reviews. When I needed to find an automobile windshield guy, I asked the owners, and if no one knew, if none of the guys knew, I'd call the 5-star reviews around and I tell them what I was intending to do, and then I'd check up if they took care of the people. Sometimes it turned into something that brought nothing back to our company. Other times it turned into a great relationship. But it was good to even try. That was the process. It was manual, but worth it.
I find it odd that over all these months that we've been on these Zoom calls, it's gone from everybody's got too much work and they don't even care about referrals to starting to think about where new business is coming from. But that's the way the economy is going right now. It definitely is. And repairs are definitely up as opposed to new installs. People are watching their dollar. And sometimes we'll just put a few bucks into a repair as opposed to just replacing. But Robert, what you just said is so important that you really have to treat those no's with tender loving care, because they can do you damage, and you can turn them into future yeses, or at least a positive light on your business that you did try and help, even though you weren't taking their dollar. That's huge. And it gives you more benefit than you'll see in your checkbook right now, but it really does carry the moniker of your company very well if you handle it right. You know, I use the analogy, you don't go into a Toyota guy and say, can you fix my Mercedes? And the guy says, well, I don't even have parts. I don't have that. You're not going to give the guy a 1-star review, but in essence, that's what they're doing to you.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like, you know, it's almost like nowadays when you drive, you want to be careful you don't cut anybody off or something, because they'll get out with a gun and kill you, you know? I mean, everybody's just like overreacting to everything. Everybody's feelings are so like on their sleeve. And like this thing, like you're just describing, I had somebody call me, this was a while back, probably a couple of years ago, but somebody called me up. They had one of those framed, you know, some old frame shower door, and the little latch, magnetic latch had worn out or something. So I mean to find him one, you know, and I'm like, well, do you even know what brand it is now? So I guess he wanted me to get on the internet, you know, like scour the internet and try to figure out what latch you need. I mean, without even any information. Gosh, dude,
No,
I can't help you with that.
I've got a graveyard of removals, and I say, you're welcome to come here and go through our graveyard. You know, I mean, I take doors out like that all the time. And
Yeah, I think you've mentioned that before, which I think is a brilliant idea, you know?
yeah, as long as they don't get hurt, you know, there's kind of stacked.
Right. Don't get hurt doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had this guy, you know, leave me a 1-star review because, you know, I wouldn't go find his old shower door latch for him, you know? It's like,
Yeah.
and then how do you respond to those?
I actually do respond. A lot of people say, don't even respond, let it go. But I'd respond, say, you know, we tried to give you, but you know, the quality of the products that we have, just, it's not the same as what you have. I'm sorry you feel that way, but we just don't carry that. You know, hopefully you see our point of view. We can't fix it with something we don't have.
Yeah.
But I do respond to it. And people are going to judge you about how you respond. So as long as you're not responding condescendingly, you know, and give them a real big dig and make them look like a jerk in front of everybody, just do it professionally. Say, I'm really sorry you feel that way, but you know, we don't have it, and I made you aware that I don't have it, and you couldn't tell me the brand, so I don't even know how to help. So
Yeah.
One thing that I always tell people is I just say, you know, there's probably about 15 to 20 shower door manufacturers out there. Most of them, if not all of them, pretty much, except for Alumax, I guess, don't even have their label on there. Some of them are copies of others. Some of them are just old archaic ones that been around for many years. And a lot of those parts aren't even available anymore. So many companies are out of business that made that product. We just don't even repair frame showers. And I explain that to customers, and it seems to work pretty well. I think they understand that for the most part.
you know, it's funny, Brad, these shower doors could be 15, 20 years old, but boy, if they have a computer and it's more than 4 years old, Microsoft doesn't even support it anymore, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
It's 4 years old. Oh no, that's outdated. These things are 20 years old. They're being used 2-3 times a day. They were never a good quality product to begin with.
Right.
How long do you expect it to last?
And we had some lady call the other day, and she had a full frame shower door with a wire glass in it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. You don't want us to replace it with
Oh,
tempered.
wow.
No, you need a new shower door. Okay, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Never
know.
seen one with wire glass.
Oh, yeah.
That's
When I
old.
first started, we used to have that stuff, you know?
Yeah, I've
Well,
replaced a
that-
few of those.
I'd have to ask your age, but I won't.
Yeah. Those things lasted a long time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do.
I was at a house a couple weeks, or about a month ago, and he still had an old shower door with just glass in it, you know?
Oh,
The regular glass.
Neil.
Just the annealed glass or float glass even probably.
Yeah, the annealed,
Wow.
what they
Probably
call
not even annealed. This is
it.
that
No, it
one.
wasn't. It was just annealed. I mean, it was, you know, piano hinges, and
No.
he said, you need to get rid of that thing.
How about when they call you and say, oh, my glass is really good. I just need to replace the aluminum.
What's that?
How about when they call you and say, oh, the glass is still good. I just need to
Yeah.
replace the aluminum. You ever
Oh,
had
yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, right.
We've gotten two calls this week actually. There's these prefabricated saunas. I think they're manufactured in China. I think there's a couple of companies in the Midwest that I guess assemble them and ship them out. But we've gotten 2 calls this week for people that had these prefabricated saunas installed in their new bathrooms. And when the inspector comes, they're either not accepting the tempered stamp was the first one. And then the other one had no stamps on the glass. I don't know yet if it's tempered or not, but we got 2 calls to go in and change out 3 lights of glass in these saunas.
You know, speaking of tempering glass, I don't know if I read that. I think it was in Seoul, South Korea.
Yeah,
Some hotel,
yeah.
they, what do you call it? Copied the tempering logos and put it on the glass because of the lead time, and they got caught.
Oh,
Hmm.
It was like
wow.
2,000 units of glass that they found that had the fake tempering marks on them.
Do you guys subscribe to like US Glass Online or Glass Magazine Online? Because you get a lot of those
Yeah.
stories come through.
Yeah.
A good source of information. Who's moving around throughout the industry?
Mhm.
Who's opening their doors? Who's closing their doors? Lots of moves all the
yeah.
time. And Chris, I'm surprised you didn't get Andrew on here now that he's back with FHC.
I know, right?
You would think this would be his home.
Be on here grandstanding and stuff, huh?
Absolutely. Not that he needs not that he needs a reason to do it, but I mean,
Yeah.
this is where he should be.
Have to ping that guy, man.
The true nerd, true glass nerd.
True glass nerd. Yep. Yeah, well
Where's
now I'm like watching, I'm watching like a hawk, who's in the waiting room.
What's on?
I'm watching the waiting room like a hawk. I
Oh,
think from now on I'm not gonna let anybody in.
Yes,
All
we could
stars.
create that, and then we can add some extra help so we can make it an easy flow to add. Yeah, create a barrier for people to jump into the call,
Yeah, I'm gonna
to
have
the live
Rob.
Zoom call.
I'm gonna have Rob help me, man. I need help, Rob.
We can do that. And anyone needing help with bad reviews, step 1 is don't respond if it's fake and report it as fake. Then let Google tell you if they're going to remove it for you. Most likely they'll tell you no, because they side with the customer 99.9% of the time, even if they know it's fake, and you provide them all the truth that it's fake. Step 2 is you respond for the future customers. Like Bill hit the nail on the head. You do not, most people make the mistake of getting all in their feelings and responding to the customer with the truth. It doesn't matter. Like, you're so worried about being right, you're missing the point that the future customers are going to read how you respond, and they're going to look how you treated somebody that had a negative review of your business. And if you got that spite, you got that revenge feel, then they're going to be like, even if you're right, I kind of don't want to do business with you, because being on your wrong side, I see where you go. And when they see that you're being slighted, you're being wronged, and then you put a nice comment about how you never did business with us, wish you would, because we'd love to treat you right, looking for your contact info, we can't find your job, but and then they see that on the row with all the other 5-star reviews, and awesome. But if they see, like I see a few people comment back with all the juice they got on them and the back and forth. These days, people are almost intentionally going at you to leave bad remarks so they can document how you respond and expose you. So be careful as you think you're having private battles with one-on-one people. You might be in the middle of a bigger game. So just always try to do the higher thing, because when it all comes out, you want to feel good about what you said, regardless of how right you were. But step one is report it as false. Step two is respond in a way for your future customers to read, not for that person at all.
Robert, that is so important. And it's a great topic to talk about because we're all business owners, right? Doesn't even matter if you're in the glass business, you're a business owner. And I went to a seminar, and this one lady, the one thing that really stuck with me is as you get a bigger organization and you have emails within the company, that if you start to refer to somebody in your company, you make sure that person is copied on the email trail. So you're never talking about somebody behind their back, ever. That's a really good policy. It's a really good policy.
Wow.
And it makes
That's
you think
great.
twice. It makes you think twice if you're going to say anything negative. You're going to word it so totally different, and then it's better for everybody.
I love that. That is great.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm bringing that to the table. I love it.
Yep, definitely. Awesome. So how many of you guys and gals out there, do you respond to all of your reviews? Good or bad?
Yes. Does a
Good.
couple of things that helps your relevance on, well, we use a third party called Podium, right? But
right.
it helps your relevance if you have interaction. It just shows that you're relevant, and that will help you with your rankings. So yes, even if it's got, I think Keith figured it out, that had to be more than 4 words. So when you have interaction, try and respond with at least more than 4 words.
I think it's 6.
If you say thanks a lot, that's not good enough, but it's very much appreciated. Thank you for your business. Okay, they consider that a response.
Okay, that's good to know.
So Brian, you heard 6?
Yeah, 6 words, 6 or more.
Okay.
That's not too hard to do, really.
Yeah.
No, but if you're conscientious of it, because some people will just type in thanks or much appreciated.
Well, I've been bad about not responding to all of them, probably most of them, but the other day I made a point to reply to a couple. And makes you feel good to do it. It's just, we're all spread so thin, and it's so hard to do everything the best way possible, But it does make you feel good to reply to a customer and be personable.
Brad, you got to type out your response, take a deep breath, read your response before you hit send.
Okay.
All right. And I got into that bad habit. I was responding and hitting send, and a typo would go, or something would have been phrased, just could have been taken the wrong way, and I didn't mean it that way.
Yeah.
So type your response, take a deep breath, reread it. Yep, that's good. Then send, then hit send.
That applies to everything. It seems like
Yeah.
if I am writing even a blog or something, if I just give it a few days and reread it, it's like I have a fresh mind and a different perspective. I can see all the errors in what I was trying to explain or whatever.
Do you find that when you're buying something for your home, do you judge people based on their grammar, especially in either texts or emails?
I think everybody does to some degree. Yes.
How much weight do you put to there? I mean, if they're not using the word there the proper way, they're not using your and your, the proper way, or to, and those ones that have multiple spellings
Yeah.
that have totally different meanings. The one I see all the time is, I want to be a part of your project. And instead of apart, they write apart. So I do want to be a part, which would be separate words. I want to be part of your project.
Right.
But if you put it together, I want to be a part of your project means you don't want any of it. You want to be a
Means
part
the
of it.
opposite, right?
Mhm.
Yep,
Yeah.
Hard for-
right.
And the same thing is accept and accept. I accept your proposal, or I want that door except the one in the bedroom. I don't want that one. And there's people that don't use it right. Well, I don't know about you, but I judge people that way. I'm like, wow, what am I getting into? How
Mhm.
educated are these people? So I don't know. I'm just thinking if I do it, I bet you everybody does it. So you want to be really conscientious. Even when you make a post, you do a great post, make sure your grammar is right, it's spelled right.
Well, these days we have the luxury of spell check and grammar check and all that, is on your Word program or whatever, so we kind of have that luxury that we didn't have before.
Yeah, but some of them don't still
Yeah.
work.
Right, exactly.
And sometimes autofill makes it worse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the autocorrect, sure.
Well, and I use speech recognition on text all the time because I could be driving or doing something and instead of typing it on my phone or whatever, and the speech recognition is going to screw up.
Yeah,
My wife does that all the time. She'll
yeah.
text me something and I says, do you read what you send? Read it before you send it.
So do you judge her for that?
It's
Try
like,
not
I try
to,
to-
right?
I try to be kind to people too, because you never know, like some people have learning disabilities or dyslexia or, are just in a hurry or have kids screaming in their ear. I try to be like in general kind to people about
Yeah.
little things like that. But I think internally, if we're writing a blog post or if we're hiring somebody, then yes, obviously that's important. The thing that I hang my hat on is people's names. I want to get their name right. I want to spell it correctly. I think that's really, really important. And if Starbucks thinks that's important, then I need to think that's important. So that's my thing. I don't know about you guys.
Christina,
that's good.
one thing I'm more referring to is if you're getting a quotation to have something done at your house and you take a look at this thing and it's like, and you're reading a paragraph and it's like all over the place, misspellings. Don't you really think twice about whether you should give this guy the job?
Oh, yeah. I think coming from our company, of course. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
so I mean, if you're sending out that type of thing, don't you would think a customer is going to look at you and say, I can't do business with them.
Of course, of course.
That's kind of what I meant. I didn't mean about responding to reviews and that thing because they could have kids going on. I'm talking about a professional proposal that's coming to you, or somebody posting on Shower Door Professionals. Hey, look at this job. Da, 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 da,
Yeah,
I mean,
I think
I
there's
see it a
different
lot, and
levels.
I see it a lot, and I don't want to be the grammar police, and that opens up a whole nother door. But man, you certainly do sit back and judge it. You're better off not even responding to those. But I'm just saying, for the guys that are sending out proposals, make sure that everybody knows how to spell
Definitely.
properly.
Definitely. And like you say, grammar, in parts of speech and stuff like that, because spell check will catch the spelling errors, but it can still put the wrong word, the wrong spelling,
Yeah.
Homonyms, right? And stuff like that. And for me, like, I try not to judge people, but I'm human too. And it's like, but there's different levels, right? I mean, in a text message, you see something coming from somebody's phone, it's a text message. I don't have high of standards for that, but then like a post, like you're talking about, like social media post, a little bit higher standard for that.
Yeah.
You should have taken the time to like read that, make sure that you're spelling it right, make sure that your grammar is correct, especially if it's something that's critical. If somebody's posting a comment that's critical, you're going to definitely criticize their grammar a lot more because they're being critical.
Absolutely.
And then, so for an email, then it goes up a little higher. Okay,
So-
email should be kind of like a letter. This is something that's professional. And it depends on what if they're posting on Twitter, it's different or than Facebook, or if they're posting on LinkedIn, okay, you're holding to a little higher standard on LinkedIn, you know. Then if it's a letter, an actual letter or a proposal, like you're saying, an invoice, man, it better be perfect.
I had an example today by a big national company that I've been dealing with on my own home. It's a product that I bought. I was with their escalated customer service team, and she said to me, "Are you able to take a phone call tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time?" Now they're in Minnesota. Now this is customer service.
Mhm.
And I'm going, okay, I'm in Florida, so I'm on Eastern time. So I've got to figure out your time difference. Do you mean 2 o'clock your time or mine? But then she says standard time. I'm on daylight time. So now is she 2 hours off? I mean, that's just somebody that's throwing it out there without really giving it thought to what she was sending. And once I made her aware of it, it was like, oh, it automatically did that. No, it didn't. But there was a potential of somebody working on a serious problem with us that could have been 2 hours off because they're 1 hour from me. And then she's saying standard time, not daylight time. It's like, whoa, why are you doing that? I think you should always respond to the customer. If you're going to call a customer on their time, you figure out what their time is.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
All right, that's it for tonight.
That's good. I like that. Yeah. Right on. Well, hey, thanks everybody. Glad you showed up. We did it. We made it through the call.
Again, nobody got hurt.
Yes.
Good topic.
Yeah. Any landing you can walk away from is a good landing.
There you go.
Yeah,
All right,
man.
everybody. Have a great week. We'll see you next Wednesday.
See you guys.
All right.
Good night.
Care.
Later.
Good night.
Good night.